We're looking at Chelsea Denofa's car. He built an S54, which is the super cool E46 M3 motor. He took it out of a 3,400 pound car, 3,300 pound car.
It's actually out of the Z4, but same thing.
Oh, well, he put it in the 2,400 pound car. How good is it?
It's 3,120 with me in it.
That's how much the car weighs?
Yeah.
I thought it was like 30 or 2,400 pounds.
No.
Oh.
It has full interior, full cage. It's actually probably 400 pounds heavier than stock.
What'd you build the car for?
Well, I built the car to have a simple car I didn't have to work on. Like if it starts in the morning, it should go all day, other than like tires and drivetrain shit. But like actually the motor should go. And I wanted to build a motor that was fun to drive, not just like a V8 that's like kind of lame.
Well, I'm the person that always rants and raves about like Grassroots cars or like sustainable cars and everything else. And you're known for the most over-the-top BMWs that make like 800 or 1,000 horsepower and blow up constantly.
For competition.
Right, and you have that, but you haven't driven one of those now in a couple years. Why didn't you put one of those together, and why did you put this together? Because a lot of people would be like, why wouldn't you want the ultimate car? Like, you literally have it sitting in your garage. I mean, why not put a drivetrain back in? Why do you drive this?
This is way more ultimate than that, to me.
Is it?
Because, like, I don't need to go drive FD in this car. I don't aspire to drive FD in this car. It would never do well in FD.
However, all the Grassroots guys do build FD cars to drive on the Grassroots scene. So you're doing something different.
Well, everybody thinks that they need to build that car and have that car, but the reality of it is running that car for 3 or 4 or 5 years until you get to Pro 2, you could have had 30 of these.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. So to me, like, even all of like my cars that I drive now all have very simple motor packages because that's the way to go. I mean, I hate working on cars. So I'll sacrifice how cool my car is, like driving wise, so that I don't have to work on it, so that it ultimately stays cool. I hate my car when I have to work on it.
What do you have more fun driving? Like the demo Mustangs you drive, this thing, or your like big boy FD car?
I would say like this thing and the FD car are pretty equal. Yeah? The FD car is really cool.
So this is as fun as the FD car?
I think so.
Wow.
Well, because you gotta think with the FD car, every 2 laps you have to take a 15 or 20 minute break.
Yeah.
You gotta do tires, you gotta look at data. You have, like I have like 17 people that work for us at the track, and they all have a job that gets done every 2 laps.
That's like, insane.
You know what I mean? Like, whereas this thing, I was trying to be nice, and after 5 laps I would take a break and just chase them, not drifting, and then go on and rail it again. I don't even have gauges in this car. I don't know how, I mean, yeah. It has full power still, we're good, you know? Like,
I have gauges, but I honestly never look at them.
Yeah, right. Probably just water temp every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the FD thing is like, it's a lot of work to drive an FD car. It is like by the end of each day, my brain is completely fried. Like I couldn't do simple math at the end of a race weekend. And like this thing, I can go hang out with you guys, have fun, thrash it, not really worry so much about it, have fun, you know, and that's it.
I'd also like to say something. So you're driving, what is it, 300 horsepower at the wheels maybe?
320.
Okay, you're driving a 320 wheel horsepower car with like 260 foot-pounds of torque or something, right?
Yeah.
And you're keeping up with Brandon Whitnick's JZ S13 with 500 wheel, right? Were you having any trouble keeping up on it here with the fastest entry that we have in Texas? No?
I mean, like your car would pull me on the straightaway a little bit, but halfway through that turn, I could be back on your door.
Right, so I was gonna say, it's interesting, like we love fast cars and they give us the feeling of them being fast, but like your car is literally as fast as our fastest Pro-Am cars for the most part. You agree?
Yeah, and this car sucks.
Like, this car doesn't suck?
I'm saying like, it's great, but I'm saying like, it's just like, it has
nothing crazy.
Off-the-shelf coilovers, no custom anything. It has suspension from the 70s.
Yeah.
Like this is the worst rear suspension ever.
Yeah.
But like just good spring rate and low tire pressure and have fun.
So do you think like Pro-Am kids would get better driving stuff like this? Because if you had 100 units of money and 100 units of money and you had a car like this or like a over-the-top Pro-Am car, who would be better at the end of like 2 years?
Oh yeah, I mean...
The guy driving this?
The dollar to experience in something driving like this is way more. I mean, it's, like I said, like even if you have a simple car that makes 700 horsepower, like I think Van Schellenbeck has like one of the more simple, super high horsepower cars, and he's still like worried about it every time he drives it. Right now he's not driving because he's like, oh, my turbo is smoking a little bit. Whereas if like it was a cheap car that he didn't spend his life on, he would would not care as much and drive more.
Yeah.
But this thing's like change the oil and go until it blows up. Like, if it does.
I don't want to harp on people that build crazy cars because they are very enjoyable and they are very fun, and everybody should be able to express themselves through that. I just want to make sure people get as many laps as possible and have as much fun as possible and get as good as possible for like the amount of effort and money and everything.
Having a car that you don't worry about is the most fun of anything to me. Because if I go drive my FD event, even when I go to like my FD car at like a fun event when I had the BMW, the whole entire time, all I'm thinking about is how much money it's costing me. Because I'm like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
It's not even fun. Because I'm like, every lap is like so much money.
To touch on something you just said as well, if you are a Pro-Am guy or just a fun guy or anything and you want to drive and maybe you do want to even do Formula D, it's still better to probably get as many laps in something like this simple for as many years as you are until you get to like Pro 2 or something, and then you step up to a crazy
you'll
car.
Save money and be able to drive more. Like, you should not build a Pro 2 car until you go to Pro 2.
Yeah. A lot of people think you need to practice in one forever and everything, but as soon as you build one, that's it. You're doing 2 laps at a time, and
and you're gonna get burnt out because you're gonna spend so much money on it before you even achieve that goal.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah,
Boom. All right, we're gonna look at the car. Is there anything special you want to tell about the car? There was a couple things that I had questions on. It's an S54. How hard was the swap? How'd you get it in there? He just told me it's on a standalone with a patch harness, so it's a stock wiring harness, so it's an E36 engine harness.
E46.
Oh, it is the E46. That makes more sense. Sorry. E46 engine harness onto a patch harness onto what kind of ECU?
It's got a link.
Link ECU. And did you choose that for any special reason?
Just with dual Vanos and some of the things that you have to do with the drive-by-wire and individual throttle bodies, you need something that has some brain power to it.
And why didn't you put a V8 in this?
I don't know why I would put a V8 in anything. No, because it's just like, this is like basically the same power, a little less torque than a normal LS1.
Yeah, no, you're right.
30 wheel, you know.
And it moves too, which is hilarious.
And it drops right in the car. There's no modifications to put it in. And I use the E36 gearbox.
How long would it take for someone that had the patch harness and the engine and all that stuff to put this in? Is it literally put it on the stock engine?
20 working hours. I even have the stock S54 exhaust all the way back to that view.
Wow.
Because it makes the most torque.
That's really cool.
Same mounts, same trans.
Why don't you just drive an E46 M3? Because they're too heavy and they're not as much fun?
Well, first I got this car really cheap from him.
I did sell him the car, yes.
And it already had S52 and I sold the S52 and just put this motor in.
Yeah, so you didn't really cost that much money.
I'm building an E46 right now for a customer and I'll let you know how it goes.
You mean an M3?
Yeah.
Cool, okay.
With the S54 and
so you're going to go test it out at park and see how you like it?
I don't really like E46s. Even though I drove one in Formula D, I never was a huge fan. I'm more of an E36 guy. And I think these are super ugly, so they're cool, like, because they're so ugly that they come back around to me to be cool.
They feel like much smaller cars, too.
Oh, yeah. But the same wheelbase.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool.
And they're cheap. They're free.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yeah. It's not a key, it's just a toggle.
I don't even know where it is. They made it more difficult. Yeah. Tell them about the school. Oh, that sounded fun.
There's a relay that still has power, so it runs for a second off of that. Little things that I'm working through. But yeah, so we run a school up in Portland at Park, which is like one of the more fun tracks to drive, and you don't need a really crazy car to be able to have a lot of fun there. We've got a bunch of similar cars to these with S52s, like headers and like about 250 horsepower that absolutely shred there. Like you can tandem with FD cars there and stay on their door. But yeah, just really going anywhere from the basics of learning how to drive. I've literally taught people how to drive stick and drift in the same day. And by the end of a half day, they're linking turns and having a good time. So really just trying to educate more people and put them in simple cars and really, you know, push people to enjoy drifting and have a good time instead of necessarily just like going out with a crazy car and sucking all the time, because I think that's like the worst case scenario.
How do they book a day?
So you just go to theschoolofdrift.com and you can book right on the website. Half day, full day. We even have like a homeroom class, which is 8 laps on track with some instruction to kind of just get your feet wet and try it out.
I think it's absolutely amazing that you can go out now and you can learn from like one of the best drifters in the world. And that was not something you could really do 10 years ago or even 5 years ago. There weren't tracks that would let us on you know, a daily basis. There weren't cars that were reliable enough. None of us knew how to build a car. None of us knew how to set a car up, because like we'd set cars up, but like we'd set cars up to break, if that makes sense, and to fight themselves. Now you can set up a car. He knows exactly how to set up a car, so this thing runs, 30 days in a row without much maintenance or whatever, and can run a school. I think that's really, really cool. We're in a new era, Chelsea.
We are.
In a new era. And along with like Assetto Corsa and your school and everything else, you could literally make people that are world-class drivers probably within 12 months now.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
I mean, I've had a lot of guys come too that are already like Pro-Am drivers, and they come up and drive the cars, and they're like, well, first I want to build one of these. It's a fun car.
Yeah.
They're like, why would I not? I just drove all day on one set of tires and raped this car. And then a couple of them have gone on like immediately after that to qualify first at their next event and do really well.
Yeah.
So it's really like a lot of times you're just kind of pointing out like the issues that people have driving, and then just kind of improving on everything you can.
I was gonna say, and there's some small magical things that some people wouldn't think about, like say you're using all the exact same car with the same parts there, with the same tires, with the same setup, it all works. You're not fighting between 5 different cars with 5 different drivers, with like 5 different styles. You've created a place where you can drive in the same style and the same car. And it just makes a lot of sense when you think about it. And a lot of when we were driving in Poland recently, we had a lot of fun because the cars were so simple and so equal, even if they weren't optimal and drifted every corner perfectly or whatever.
But it was as much fun as today when you're in your car.
Yo, absolutely.
Big track,
yeah. An 800 horsepower car, in my mind, is no more fun than a 200 horsepower car. You agree?
I totally agree.
Yeah. In fact, I would say the 200 horsepower car is more fun because you get to drive at least 50 times more than an 800 horsepower car.
And every lap you do is like less than $100.
Yeah.
People look at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, even the people that are driving Pro 2 don't realize how much money they spend.
Yeah.
Because they have all these little things that add up and all these little hustles where they're selling some things and buying some things, and they're like, I did it on a $25,000 budget. I'm like, but you sold 3 trucks that you bought and doubled up on them and spent all that money, and then you borrowed money from so-and-so, so you spent $65,000. You're like, it never is like, it's insane amounts of money. And like, I came here and drove today, I had more fun than I did at FD podiuming. Like, it's like, to me, it's like,
oh, that makes me happy.
But it's a job, Like, I'm not saying it's a job in that type of way. I have a ton of fun. But like, I'm there to do a job. Yeah. Like, to win.
You're there to win.
Right.
You're not there to make people happy or not hurt feelings or do anything else.
And
or
I'm
like
enjoying it and having a blast doing it. Like, it's the best job I could ever have, but it's still a job. Like, when I come out here, like, I do whatever I want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I was gonna say, what also is crazy is like, I was talking to Mesker. Mesker did more laps in one day at one of our events in his 350Z than he did the entire year of Pro 2.
Yep.
So like, you build this crazy car and everything, you don't get many laps. Anyways, we're just ranting about this stuff.
Yes, I do.
We just always talk about this.
I do 25 laps at an FD event all weekend.
Yeah, this is amazing. I saw him jump this car a foot off the ground today, like all 4 tires off. You had a huge smile, just everything was amazing. Yeah. Car was fast, car's great.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. It's always good when you do something and it works out.
It has a ratchet strap for a battery tie down.
Yeah.
Look at all the cabin filter stuff. Like,
that's from when I blew off track.
Yeah.
Because I had the heat on full.
So like, look at this. He's utilizing stock BMW components instead of fancy catch cans.
This is the lower radiator hose from how this car came.
Yeah.
And then I have a Chevy truck lower rad.
Do you need a pulley on that?
No, I just underdrive a little bit. I had it. It's cool. Looks cool. It's purple.
This fails tech, Chelsea.
Yeah. It was tight before I flew off track at 120 miles an hour, probably. Yeah.
What's crazy though is there's no core support that's like tube front.
Oh, no.
These things unbolt so you can like wreck them.
There's already bolts missing.
Yeah. Stock manifolds. Yeah. Is it a stock header? No, it has like an eBay one.
No, that's a active tubular.
Fancy
one. Big oil cooler, big radiator. That's it.
Cool. It even has a stock passenger seat.
Yep.
Full interior.
And no harness bar on the passenger side.
It's cable e-brake still. Is there any secret to the cable e-brakes on these? Because like my JZX in Japan needs constant adjusting and attention. Is there anything
special?
special?
Or is it on
It's a drum.
Yeah, you just adjust it in the drum one time and you'll be good for probably 50 sets of tires.
Really, on this?
Adjust it again. Yeah.
Okay, I have to adjust my
other one a lot. It's just now getting worn out since when I built the car. Like with the S52, like when I got it from you.
Do you sell these things too?
What, these cars?
Yeah. Built or no?
I do offer our school cars for sale, but
that's. I still want one.
Still, if somebody wants a turnkey, they
why not more modern BMWs? Like, why not an E90 one of these or something like a 330i?
They just get too complicated. like
what do you mean, the wiring and stuff?
and all the stupid shit.
So this is just easier on you?
And these are the best cars. Like, not these. These are okay. The E36 are like the best cars.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're just so like, especially for teaching people, because they have such a separate side bite and forward bite that you can really like easily tune somebody to feel that that doesn't know anything about cars. You know, I can say, hey, side bite, you feel it on your hip. Forward bite, you feel it on your back. Like when you feel like your hip starts getting looser, like not have as much pressure on it, start pushing the throttle or you're gonna spin. That's how you drive the car.
Yeah.
Sounds stupid, but it's just like very simple.
Quick thing, if somebody had an E36 M3 or something like that and they were drifting, just like mostly stock power, what rear tire size should they use?
225/45.
Okay.
Or like anything, like you could run a 215/50, 225/45, like somewhere around that range.
Okay.
They're good. They
That
last
gives
a
people
long
an idea of what to do.
Yeah, and they're cheap. That's like one of the cheapest tire sizes.
Yeah. Cool.
You should
How much
be able
those
to buy
tires
that
cost?
tire for $50 or less each.
This is game changer stuff when you think about it. Because like maybe you get a little hookup or something, it's a little bit cheaper. Like
No.
I've always wanted like the $35 tire life and build a car to do that.
$35 tire life is not a thing.
No, I know, it doesn't
I'm
exist.
actually building one of those cars right now, though.
What
I'm
is
doing
it?
the cheapest drift car challenge,
Yeah?
and I'm building an MR2.
You think it's gonna work?
Oh, it's gonna work.
The old.
So I bought an AW11, the old one, that
Yeah.
has a Beams motor in it. Oh no, sorry, not Beams, 20 valve motor in it.
But you die if you get hit, right?
I don't think so. Why not? Why not?
'Cause
Everything's behind you.
They're so tiny.
I mean,
Yeah. Okay. So $35 tires on it?
yeah, because it'll run on 195 60 14s.
Jesus.
And it will be fast as hell because it will be 1,800 pounds.
I don't know. I had an 1,800-pound Corolla and it was still slow.
Yeah. Well, I'm building it for like kart tracks and stuff.
Yeah.
And I want to
drove
build a
that thing in
mid-engine
intervals.
car. I think it'd be fun to try it.
Yeah. Cool. Okay.
I'll
Thank
let
you.
you know how it goes. That might be the car that you can drive for like $100 a day all in.
God, that would be amazing.
That's my goal. $100 a day minus entry fee.
There needs
imagine
to be a
if you
fleet
could
of the same thing, but you
legitimate-
can't get a fleet of those.
No,
You can get a fleet of
they're
E36s.
actually hard to find,
Yeah.
especially ones that are not like rusted in half.
Yeah.
So I bought one cheap. So I'm gonna
Amazing.
try it out. $100 a day drifting. Because then you don't have to think about it. You're
Yeah.
like, the normal person works one day for that. You know what I
No,
mean? Like,
yeah, no, I agree.
Like just a normal drifter.
I was gonna say my cars are probably, even with hookups and sponsors and like help on tires and all these things,
You're gonna spend $1,000 today.
it probably isn't. It might be with hotel rooms and stuff.
Yeah.
But I was gonna say I operated a car for 3 out of the last 4 days, and I just came back from Japan where I operated a car for 17 days.
Well, yeah,
and, like,
in Japan it's
gets-
$500 a day.
But I was gonna say
it
it just like it gets expensive.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where if you're efficient on the front end of it, it can be much, much cheaper. If
Yeah.
you're not, it could be a disaster. Think about how much money we spent back in the day not knowing what we were doing.
I spent a lot.
I know. And now you're like, oh, here's the deal. Buy someone's misfortune for cheap as hell, clean it up, and go drive it.
Yeah, I do that. And we do that a lot.
Yeah.
I actually don't build cars anymore because of that. I actually have stacks of cars now because they're so cheap
too.
to buy used sometimes that you'll have 5 cars and when one breaks, you do the math and you're like, I'm getting a new one.
Yeah.
So you just go grab another car.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you recoup what you can off the other car or keep it for spare parts and strip it and sell
Yeah.
it. Take it to the junkyard.
Ah.
I buy every single E36 M3 that pops up within a 100-mile radius of me because it's like, it turns into money somehow.
Yeah.
Or saves me money. Penny saved is a penny earned.
All right.
I parked this way so that everybody wouldn't see my really dirty car from flying off.
Oh.
Oh, too late.
No, I think
Everybody's
it's good. We didn't get kicked off for that. Where are the cops? Oh, there's the cops. They're still doing copy things.
Copy things. They're copying each other.
All right, let's go look at Brandon's car. Boom! Thank you to every sponsor that worked with Lone Star Drift this year, including BC Racing Coilovers, NRG, Koyo Rad, GK Tech, Sicky, Manufacturing, Spec Clutch, Inky Wheels, Kenda Tires, Garrett Turbo, ECU Master, What Monsters Do, AEM, and everyone else that helped out, including all the drivers, judges, spectators, volunteers, everyone. Thank you, man.